Thank you all, my fellow Americans, and it is my distinct pleasure and honor to be here tonight, a signal honor to be here with the Lieutenant Governor of your state, perhaps the next governor of this state, Mark Hamilton and his lovely wife. I want to thank God, of course, before I say anything else to you, and I want to recognize a few friends that are here with me as well. Sherry and Jim, I want to thank you for the invitation. My good friends Miriam and Dr. Willie Chu are here along with their daughter Emily. They're here as well. And Sherry, yes, I think that you are my biggest little fan, but I think your mother, who is smaller than you actually, is bigger than that as far as that's concerned. And I certainly thank you for being here, Tevis, being here with you. I am Senior Fellow, Freedom Works, Washington, D.C., and in case you're not familiar with who we are, we're the largest grassroots organization in the nation. We boast 6 million activists on the ground throughout the nation, and my job is to crisscross the nation once a month, almost every month, to speak to that 6 million, to build, educate, and to mobilize them. One of my colleagues is here with me, J.J. South is here. Those of you know, somebody knows J.J. for sure, is here. And we invite you to come to our website, freedomworks.org, freedomworks.org, and become a part of that large organization. Be sure to meet me out there after I speak here in just a few minutes, right before the Lieutenant Governor comes up. And I would be very happy to sign a book for you. You can tune in my show, VCL Bryant Show, the largest talk platform, Red State Talk, 12 noon until 2 p.m. Daily. Friends, as I mentioned to you, Freedom Works is the largest grassroots organization in the nation. And our job is to build, educate, and mobilize the largest grassroots network of activists in the country. And we have helped many candidates around this nation, and we certainly hope to help many more in this cause that we have for freedom together. I'm an original Tea Partier, and I've been a Republican for about 30 years. But before you is the former president of the NAACP in Garland, Texas, in a whole different political life. And friends, I have to tell you that I have seen both sides of the street. And I've been a minister for over 40 years. My wife, who has now passed away, 2 years this year. And we fought that together. I have seen the evolution of our nation. I have drank from the colored and white water fountains. And I got to tell you, the water's the same in both of them as far as that's concerned. But I came along in a time when it wasn't a choice whether or not you sat on the front or the back of the bus. It was a law that with the skin color that you have, you would sit in a designated place. We've come a long way from that. And friends, we have a long way yet to go. But no one should be deceived into thinking that somehow this America, 2022 America, is anything resembling Jim Crow America. I applaud you, Clarence Henderson, because it is shoulders like yours that I stand on. And I salute you, sir, for the courage that you have had down through the years, and I thank you so much for your friendship. Now let me talk to you for a minute. How many of y'all know that America is the greatest nation on the face of the planet? But my friends, tonight I bring a message to you with a question. It is the same type of question that the Apostle Paul asked both the Thessalonians and the Galatians. He asked them, who has bewitched you that you should believe a lie? In America tonight, I want to ask you that question. How is it possible that we have been bewitched and bewitched to believe a lie? A lie about who we are and why we are and where we have come to. It is a lie that is being propagated and expanded upon in the minds and hearts of our children. And friends, if in fact we do not reverse course, America can go away. I was asked in a speech, after a speech that I did in Bend, Oregon, a few years back, a refugee from an Eastern Bloc country came to me afterwards and he said, CL, if America goes away, where do people go? Friends, I want you to think about that for a moment, because you may not realize that the rest of the world think that we are really something. And it's amazing how we here at home are watching before our very eyes our children and their patriotism being bred out of them. A patriot is someone who's brave enough to stand on the front line and fight the fight, take the slings and arrows of what comes his way or her way. And then those who sometimes complain about the word patriotism, they come along afterward, after all the work is done. And I want to send this message to all of you who are running for politics and who are in politics and running for office. You need to know something, that you have people watching you here tonight. And I need you to know this, that long gone are the days where you are going to make promises to us as we the people. Long gone are the days where we give you the consent to govern, and then you get into office and you do something different. You had better understand that we are going to give you your life picture. If in fact you cannot do what you said that you were going to do. America, that great land that was once a whisper, a land where even those who were in chains wanted and coveted the freedom that others had in fact and do in fact enjoy. America is a land where we as a people are from that land of e pluribus unum. From the many comes one. And Americans tonight, here in the great state of North Carolina, you being the bellwether state for the rest of our country, it is important that you conservatives, it is important that you Republicans hold this line, because America can go away. And this is the fight that we must win, and we can win here in 2022. The House is up for us. The House and the Senate are ours. And my fellow Republicans, let me say this to you. If in fact we lose the House in 2022 and don't get back the Senate, we have to be the stupidest people in the entire world, because the victory is right there for us. But who is bewitching us? What is happening in our nation? The same scallywags, and you look that word up, the same scallywags who were talking about Reconstruction and how the evils of that would tear down the nation are the same ones who are deconstructing America at this very time. There are scallywags all over Washington, D.C., and there are egg-sucking dogs all over Washington, D.C. And let me tell you something. Even though I live in the great state of Florida now, the free state of Florida, I'm from Louisiana, and we know what to do with egg-sucking dogs in Louisiana. We have to get rid of those egg-sucking dogs. And tonight, we send a message to every egg-sucking dog in Washington, D.C. Your time is up, and it is time now to do something about it. The Reconstruction is coming to you, my friends, in the form of what they are calling Build Back Better. Well, my friends, if you have any type of memory at all, you might remember just 13 months ago when we weren't having to build back better because America was the
greatest energy-producing nation on the face of the planet. And my friend, Donald John Trump was the progeny of that movement. And hey, we should become independent once again. But Joe and Kamala, they have to go. And you have to put the boot to their behinds and make sure that they are kicked out of office. My friends, it was necessary to place a fundamental change upon this nation by a Barack Obama. You remember the words, in just a few days we're going to experience a fundamental change in this nation. And truly, if Hillary Clinton had become president of the United States, it would have been lights out for this country. Even without her, there have been so many strides toward socialist reality in our nation. Our nation was not made for that type of government. In fact, you need to say it as loud as you can to your young people so that they will understand that socialism is a parasite on the back of the free market. There's a parasite on the back of capitalism. In fact, AOC, Ocasio-Cortez, need to understand that socialism, and Bernie Sanders needs to understand that socialism cannot even exist without the rest of us making some money. And that is what the drain is all about. Yes. That is why they want to cripple us the way they want to cripple us, so that we become common, just like all the other nations who have come before us, who sit and are crumpled upon the scrap heaps of history. America, if in fact we don't wake up, and if we don't wake up soon, we too can wind up on that very scrap heap ourselves. America, we were founded upon a principle that is given to us and that our founders felt so enthralled by that they found it necessary to place it within our founding documents. There are these words. Clarence, you said them. We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. We have been given this endowment. In America, we cannot forget this endowment, because this is a land that everyone looked to. This is a land that everyone looked for. But yet it did not appear until 1776. And yes, we were a flawed nation. Yes, we had flawed beginnings. But when Jefferson penned these words, that all men are created equal, I don't know if he had my grandfather's face in mind. I don't know if he had my face in mind. But what I do know is that when he penned those words, he guaranteed that the great-grandson of former slaves would be here in America as a free man. Tonight, we are endowed by our Creator with those unalienable rights. For America, who has bewitched you? Who has bewitched you to believe a lie? A lie that will surely destroy our nation. A lie that is filled and built upon the ideas of theories. Theories of critical race theory. Critical race theory being one where little white kids are the oppressors, and of course little black kids are the oppressed. I sit here and I stand here today and I'm looking out over a crowd of no one who are victims in this country. I see a nation of victorious people who are still letting the American light shine wherever we are able to let it shine. Believing a lie. I have a new critical theory, and you've seen it. It's called critical gender theory. I have 4 daughters and a son, 11 grandchildren. And friends, if we don't wake up and understand just how diabolical this is, you're going to hear and understand the words of Christ. When we look out over this audience and I see you as sheep in a pasture,
And America now is in need of a great shepherd. But the beauty is that each one of you endowed with your own endowment, trusting in the Creator who gave us this great land. We don't need big government telling us what kind of money is in our pocket. We don't need big government being co-parents with us. We don't need big government with their hands in our pockets all the time. And so we send this message from North Carolina: get your hands out of our pockets and get your knees off of our backs. We are Americans, and we will not bend the knee to anyone but our God and our Savior above. We are Americans. As in the days of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, we do see that there are those who profit off of race baiting. My movie, Runaway Slave, is one that depicts some of those race baiters. And the newest film that we have out is called Systematic Deception. We'll be showing it at CPAC this next week. And friends, let me say this to you: there is a poisoning of the American bloodstream. And I applaud Governor Robinson, or Lieutenant Governor Robinson. And that's speaking up prophetically. We need this type of voice that has seen how the journey has gone and understands what it is to overcome those obstacles. He is a prime example of what it is to be judged by the content of character and not by the color of his skin. He understands the message that need to be said to America at this point in time. And I believe that we have good news here in America. There is and has been political cataracts on our eyes that are being dissolved. Yes. And the reason they're being dissolved is because the political thuggery that is going on in this country is waking everyone up. And black folks, I'm seeing you more and more often everywhere in the Republican Party. And this is our first home. The Republican Party was our first home. Come home to the Republican Party. This is our home. Say it loud and clear. Open your eyes, America. And don't stop saying loudly that socialism is a parasite. But as I close here tonight, let me leave you with these words. There are no equal outcomes. Never have been in life. In fact, we just played the Super Bowl, and as being from LSU, I was pulling for Joe Burrow. Me too. And I kind of wish Joe had won that thing. Me too. Because he would have been a prime example of no equal outcome. But the reason we play the Super Bowl is not that we get an equal outcome. We want winners. Yeah. In America, we're a land of winners. Why are we letting them turn us into a land of sheep? Why are we doing that? And let me say this to my Caucasian friends who I often speak to when I'm the only dark face in the crowd. I need to ask you a question. What has happened to you? I don't remember you being as sheepish as you have been. I need you to be who you've always been. And that is the people who understand your endowment. There is nothing wrong with the names Jefferson. There's nothing wrong with the names Hamilton. There's nothing wrong with the names Washington. There's nothing wrong with those 56 signers of the Constitution. Let me tell you something, my friends. This is our country. I am the son of a former World War II veteran, the great-grandson of a Spanish-American War veteran, and the grandson of a World War I veteran. This is my country, and I will be loathed if we don't defend what they have brought to this great American table. And I will leave you by saying that any fool can take off the table what someone else has placed on the table. But now the content of character that Dr. King was talking about was the question of what do you bring to the table? And the question that I want you to ponder is what are you prepared to do in order to keep the American table intact? Revolution, my friends, is certainly in the air. And I'm certainly not asking anyone to go and do anything stupid, but revolution in this country is surely in the air. And my friends, we are but days away from seeing which way this goes. But I'm going to tell you something. Don't worry about Joe Biden, and don't worry about Kamala Harris. Their own party's going to get rid of them. I don't see them finishing out 4 years. So, in this day and time, along with our abiding faith, with our belief in Almighty God, we will understand the words better that were penned to a great American song. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Wherever I go, it is of thee I sing. I not only travel all over this country, I travel the world. And let me tell you something, this is the land where my fathers died. And I gotta tell you, I do have Nigerian blood in me, but also Scots-Irish. Yeah. It's a land of my pilgrim's pride. And from every mountainside, regardless of what your hue is in the color of your skin, we need to let freedom ring. And we need to let it ring in the hearts of our children. And we need to let it ring in the hearts of our grandchildren. But what are you prepared to do? I ask this question all over the country, and I've been asking it, and Miriam knows this for 13 years now. And it's a question that you must answer. It's a question that you must answer not only for yourselves, it's a question that you must answer for your posterity. And it's a question that will keep our nation strong and will save and preserve our republic. And that question is tonight here in North Carolina, as I leave you and go to other parts of this country, where sometimes there are unfriendly hands that I must shake. And there are unfriendly people who don't mean the message or the messenger any good. But it's always good to know that there are people somewhere praying for the message and the messenger. These are perilous times that we live in now, and there are difficult times ahead of us, our friends. But the question that you must answer, and the question that you must leave here tonight resolved to make certain that is sustained. And that question is this: are there any patriots left in North Carolina? Yeah. Is there anyone here who will stand up for God and country? Who will stand up for the republic? Who will stand up for America? An American! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! God bless you. God bless you.
Citizen.